All right. Hey, everyone. This is Rudy. It's December the 22nd, the year 2016. I'm going to try to do this whole video with Screencast-O-Matic and pray that my audio coming out of my mouth, the audio coming out of the computer, will somehow magically work and end up on the video, and that you'll be able to hear and see everything appropriately. We'll see. Excuse me. All right. So the goal of this video is to document the attempted gassing, abuse, and torture of Ed Brown. I would even call it attempted murder. And Ed Brown certainly refers to it as such. It occurred in 2007. When I first heard this, I had erroneously thought that it occurred in Marion Prison, but I've since learned that it was at Wyatt Detention Facility. I want to play for you not only Ed Brown's words, but I want to play for you a prisoner named a prison guard named David Lehman, who I asked David Lehman what he thought about Ed Brown's claims, and I want to play for you his video that he made. But I do need to apologize that I believe I erroneously said or implied or made an assumption that the torture occurred at Marion, and it was actually at Wyatt Detention Facility. I have since asked Ed Brown to elaborate on that gassing incident, and I want to read to you a letter not only from that he wrote me in a United States mail, but also that he sent me via core links. So anyway, let's play Ed Brown recounting this. This was uploaded. Let me. This is the original video. It's called Woodrow Volunteerist, and it was uploaded on January 17th of 2009. Okay, that was when the video was uploaded. But if we look at his core links, Ed Brown is reporting the torture actually occurred in 2007. So the video took, I don't know if it took 2 years to get out or if somebody mirrored that video and maybe Sean released it, you know, only, who knows, right? We don't know when the original video was released of this particular phone call. But I can tell you that the place I got the video was uploaded on January the 17th of 2009. Now, whether there was an earlier copy, I can't say. Okay, I don't know what Sean originally did with the audio. But let's hear Ed Brown's own words, and we can make an assessment for ourselves based on the character that we know about Ed Brown and whether we think he's lying. Okay, so let's listen to Ed Brown himself.
This is Counselor Smith. May I help you?
Yeah, hi, Deborah. It's Sean Allen.
Okay, here you go. Here's Mr. Brown, all right?
Okay, thanks.
Good afternoon.
Ed?
Hi.
Hey, it's Sean. How you doing?
Good.
I had to jump through some hoops to get to you, Ed, but I want to see how you're doing, and have they mistreated you at all, or are you all right?
No.
You're okay?
No.
No. Okay. Are you physically all right now?
At the moment, yes.
At the moment, okay. But you haven't been able to make any phone calls or anything, right?
No phone calls, no mail. I've started receiving incoming mail yesterday, but nothing has been able to go up whatsoever.
Okay.
Detention center in Rhode Island, I was gassed for 3 days. One for 5 hours, one for 8 hours, and then Sunday for 3 hours in the morning.
Wait. What happened?
I was gassed through the ventilation system. You hear my voice?
Yeah.
This is not my normal voice.
Yeah. So what happened when they? I mean, did you smell anything, or did you taste anything, or?
Yeah. It smelled like benzene or something. Some kind of cleaning fluid or something.
Oh my God.
I was breathing on the floor underneath the space underneath the bottom of the door just so I could stay alive and keep breathing. I think I passed out slightly for a couple of times during that period of time. I was crying against the door and stuff, and I banged it. The guards walked away, did nothing. Who's this, Sean?
Yeah, this is Sean.
From Chicago?
All right, so that's Ed Brown's recounting of the gassing incident in his own words in a call at least made before 2009. Okay, now here is this one. Here is a prison guard who is referring to the gassing of Ed Brown, who used to work at Marion Prison. I think he retired about 4 years ago, and I want you to hear his words. Now, I need to apologize if I implied or incorrectly stated that Ed Brown was gassed at Marion. That was a mistake on my part, if indeed I made that mistake. But I will say that if I asked this particular prison guard what he thinks of Ed Brown's statement, it wasn't because I believe that the torture occurred at Marion. It's because he has an inside view into these prisons that a lot of us do not have. And I would be curious as to his take on any reports of abuse in any prison, not just Marion, but in any federal prisons in our country. So here's what David Lehman had to say, and I only play it because this gives you a look into the mindset of what I would, I don't know a lot of prison guards. I think I have one friend who spent time as a jailer. He told me that the prisoners used to call him Hack, hey Hack, open my door, hey Hack, bring me my food. And he didn't know what the word hack meant, but he always answered to it. And one of the prisoners finally keyed him in, and he said that Hack stood for horse's ass carrying keys. And so anyway, that was my other friend who happens to be a jailer. That was a story that he told me. But this particular individual, David Lehman, claims to have spent 20 plus years at Marion Prison. And so I'm very interested in his mindset, how he thinks about things. And because I believe there's innocent men being incarcerated at Marion. And let's just look and see what he has to say. And I want you to hear what he has to say with his own words.
My name is Lehman. I spent 23 years in the United States Penitentiary located at Marion, Illinois, a federal maximum security facility. It took over for Alcatraz back in the 60s and was maximum security up till about 10 years ago. I've been getting some letters from people who support inmates who are at the penitentiary, and they have a lot of questions. Well, let's talk about a little common sense here. The stuff that a lot of inmates are talking about is just totally ridiculous crap. I mean, an inmate's cell is like 8 feet by 10 feet at the largest. That's the largest one. He's so close to me usually that I can reach to the bars and touch the guy. Now, he is claiming that as I'm walking past his open front cell, where there's nothing between him and me except some bars that are placed, so far apart, that they are putting poison gas in his cell. Now, how ridiculous would that be? Do you think that I would just sit around and smell poison gas and breathe the same air as the inmate? A guy named Ed Brown apparently has made this claim that 3 times in a 24-hour period he was gassed. It's just, okay. Let's use a little common sense here and understand that some of the people that you're dealing with are mentally ill. Other inmates are claiming it's so cold in the cell house.
All right, so I wanted you guys to just understand his mental reaction, because I believe he's been in the prison system so long as a guard that he discounts these stories of torture and abuse out of hand. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have the experience. He very well could have had the 20 years at Marion that he claims, but I don't discount the story of abuse and gassing of Ed Brown so easily as this guy does. Okay, and in fairness, he could have thought, because of something I said, that the abuse occurred at Marion, and so he's thinking about the abuse in the context of occurring at Marion, which is a prison that he is familiar with. But in actuality, the abuse did not happen at Marion Prison. It happened at Wyatt Detention Facility. Matter of fact, let me zoom in on this. Now, this is a core links email that I have from Ed Brown. And I asked Ed Brown, I sent him a write-up of, what was said by the prison guard, as well as I asked him some questions. And then also, I don't know if you guys see this, but this this is a form that Ed Brown filled, and it's stamped received of 2015. This is what's called a prison remedy form. And Ed Brown was appealing the fact that he was gassed and tortured. You see that? It was received on November 17th of 2015. The prison responded to Ed Brown on October the 19th of 2016. I don't know if you guys see that. You see that? So it took over a year for them to respond to his appeal. And then Ed Brown wrote me this letter. He said, "This is absolute proof that the Bureau of Prisons Administrative Remedy for prisoners and inmates does not work. All prisoner claims are totally ignored. Note, Mr. Ian Connor's indifference to a claim of attempted murder, torture, and abuse after 2 years delay. Note the date. Oh, after a year's delay." It's hard to read that letter. You guys will see what I mean. I couldn't tell. I think it says after a year's delay. Notice the dates. And then he signs it, Ed Brown. So you'll notice that the prison guard, David Lehman, calls Ed Brown crazy, or he implies that he could be crazy. Well, keep in mind, I've also been in discussions with other people regarding Ed Brown, and they also refer to Ed Brown as insane. I don't think Ed Brown is insane. You know, I think he's a very intelligent man. He happens to hold some unique beliefs about the tax system that is not popular. And I believe that his reports of attempted murder, the gassing incident, and the threats on his life, I consider them very credible reports. But anyway, I received a core links email from Ed Brown this morning. Let's read it together. And here's what he said. Let me read you the email that I sent. I said, "Hello, Mr. Brown. I have transcribed." Well, you know what? Now here we go. Can you guys see that? "Hello, Mr. Brown. I have transcribed a phone call you made in January of 2009 with Sean." Now, keep in mind, at the time, I thought it was in 2009 because that's when the video was uploaded. I didn't know when the actual incident occurred. Also, just yesterday, a prison guard in Marion is making a YouTube video rebutting your claims of gassing as ridiculous. My concern is, why is a Marion prison guard even responding to your claims when you are not at Marion during the gassing? In actuality, I think that might have been something I implied, and I might have put it in the title. I didn't know where he got gassed, so I basically asked him. I said, number one, what prison were you at when the gassing occurred? Number two, was the cell enclosed and the door solid? Number three, do you care to respond to this prison guard who has gone public, who is trying to discredit you? Blower my best effort transcripts of the videos. My goal is to ensure you get your side of the story out. But if this topic has potential to cause our communication lines to be severed, I value our communications more than this topic. So I am asking you to use your best judgment on whether a response is warranted, or if you have already stated your position and nothing else needs to be said. My intentions are never to harm or make things worse, but only to encourage and bring truth. Now, here's what Ed Brown said. Okay, we can blow this up a little bit bigger, I believe. All right. Ed Brown said, "Rudy, I will respond." Now, you got to evaluate for yourself whether you think this is the words of a crazy man. And we're talking about attempted murder here, right? So this is worth our time to check into. We're talking about attempted murder of someone in our prison system. Do you think it's worth your time? You know, it's Ed Brown spent 9 years of his life. Is it worth 15 minutes of our time to check into it? Rudy, I will respond, okay? I was at Central Falls, Rhode Island, Wyatt Detention Facility, where I was gassed on 3 separate occasions. 7 p.m. on the 5th of October, 2007 for 5 hours. 7 p.m. on the 6th of October, 2007 for 8 hours, Saturday. 7 a.m. on the 7th of October, 2007 for 3 hours, Sunday. And he's not the best of spellers. Neither is Schaefer Cox. These guys, you know, they're trying to get their message across, and I think they have limited time to use the Corlate's computer. And imagine using a computer where you're charged by the minute. And so, you know, you're not going to worry about spelling so much as you are just getting your message out, because you don't want to waste all your commissary on your Corlinks account, right? There is much more to this one incident. It is burned into my memory forever. When this SHU, that stands for Special Housing Unit CO, I think that stands for Company Officer, laughed at me while I was on the floor screaming for help, he and his CO officer just laughed as they walked away, yelling, "You should have paid your taxes." The next incident was at Elkton, Ohio. 3 days later, they almost killed me again. Another fact. I have been trying to get my side of the attempted murders for over 9 years, and every government, FBI, warden, news media has remained silent. I will continue, but the courts keep recusing themselves in toto. The prosecutor started this war against my wife and I because we found out that there is an agenda in these United States to overthrow it through a slow coup d'etat. It has become so bad in 2007, we decided to use the IRS as an example to expose it. But the court decided to deny all our witnesses and evidence and suppress us by putting us in a high max CMU, Communication Management Unit at Marion, Illinois. Marion only tried to cause me to die of natural causes on 3 occasions, but tortured and abused me on at least half a dozen occasions. At one point, my blood pressure was 201/121. I was melting handfuls of ice cubes in seconds on my head, much more. The government knows I am a United States Constitution Ranger of the 1777 Continental Congress, whose mission is to protect the Constitution, common law republic, and the people thereof. Do not be concerned, friend Rudy, related me and my wife. We are with God/Jesus, and I am very angry, threat United States government officials would treat an officer of honor and his innocent wife, who loved our lawful organic government, in such a heinous manner. To this day, they still abuse through the courts and the Department of Justice, and I am not the only one. I filed a qui tam action in the New Hampshire Corporate United States District Court and District Court of the United States and can get nothing but recusals in toto from the court. Another story. The qui tam action case is the first real opportunity to file, and I feel representing the United States government, the United States Constitution Rangers, and myself against the Bar Association, the United States, one of America, a private corporation, the United States, two, democracy, the IRS, and others, all in Italy and Italia. This is no joke. I am not frivolous. I challenge a very public congressional hearing, and I will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is a mafia style within the bar franchises of the Crown Templar out of Europe that control the United States government and the 50 states corporation. You all wonder what is causing the world's havoc? Put me in front of a bluebonnet grand jury and you will learn all of the truth chronologically. Wake up, America. The enemy's in your camp. Eat your fear, because fear is a mind killer. That's what they want from you. Get me in touch with the president-elect ASAP. I have much to impart to him. The CO at Marion is just doing what he is told by his superiors. He would lose his job immediately if he did not follow orders. He's weak. I am done venting for now. I am waiting for my first face-to-face with any government agent ever. No one has ever spoken to me formally related this matter. Okay, Ed Brown doesn't have access to YouTube or to the generalities going on in outside world, so he doesn't know that the CO at Marion who made the video is retired from Marion, has been retired for 4 years. He thinks he still works there. So in any event, I just wanted all this to get out, right? I wanted a video made of Ed Brown's attempted murder by gassing, and I wanted everything I knew about it and what Ed Brown has stated in one video and up to date. And so this is my video, December the 22nd, 2016. And I don't consider Ed Brown crazy. I don't consider him insane. I consider his reports entirely credible. God bless.